Hello.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. So, back in 2011, I had the opportunity of traveling a lot. I got to circumnavigate the world by ship, and I got very close to dying in Ghana, near-life experience. And later, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, but have come to full remission from that through an introduction to the law of attraction. About a year later of coming into remission through my research and whatnot, I was diagnosed with yet another conditional arthritis. And how do I better maintain alignment despite the face of physical pain? So at one point it was a roar, but through the practice of the law of attraction, it's become but a whisper that's not even there at times. I mean, it's been remarkable.
Well, those are very powerful acknowledgments that you're making, and that's the key to it continuing to improve. That acknowledgement that what is not wanted is dissipating while what is wanted is coming more into the foreground, that's the process. And the fact that you've come this far, as we are even beginning this conversation, lets us know unequivocally that you will have easy success in all of this, you see. You bring forward something that is an important topic, and we haven't really touched on it much today or even yesterday, and yet it matters a lot in understanding about deliberate creation. What has come about because of attention to things, and what is so compelling to most of our physical friends, because all of your physical senses are translating it in a meaningful way. This is a vibrational universe that you translate through your eyes. That's why you see, and through your ears, that's why you hear, and nose and fingertips and taste buds. These are vibrational translators, and we know that's a strange thing to hear because you just are seeing, you're not thinking about your translating, but you are. And so the things that are in your now reality are compelling because you're translating them through so many of your physical senses. That's why Esther's time in a beautiful restaurant with beautiful fragrances in the air and the smell of the food, it is an all-encompassing, visceral experience that is really conducive to cementing in and practicing vibration. And so we get it. You want to be involved in your physical world, but you're often not selective enough sifters, or there's often something dramatic enough that is demanding your attention so you can't look away, that holds you in a holding pattern that is resistant in nature. And so it's logical that as that continues for a period of time, that you would be, without realizing it, pinching off your well-being, pinching off your well-being, pinching off your well-being. And you might not be aware of the negative emotions that you're having about it, or you might be in a position where even though you're aware of your negative emotions, you don't feel like you can do anything about them because I am where I am and I don't have a lot of choice in that. And so it gets bigger. We say, if you've got negative emotion, which means you're contrary in your thought from your inner being, don't worry about it. It will become more. Because law of attraction and momentum, which are really the same word, say that it must get bigger. But now you're on the other side of that. You already have done this remarkable job of finding a feeling apart from the condition. And that is the answer that we want to give to the question for those who have not come as far as you have and may not yet realize that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The answer to this question, how do I find improvement from a condition that is already underway, is you have to find a way of feeling an emotion apart from the physical sensation that you're feeling. It's sort of like this. Again, we're going to come back to money because it's an active vibration in this room and most. So I really want an extra $100,000 a year, or 2 or 3 or 4, or I want more and I want it soon. Well, it is unlikely that you're going to demand it from the ethers right here this red hot minute. But you can, in 5 or 10 minutes, conjure the feeling of prosperity within you. You can accomplish an emotional feeling of prosperity, even though you cannot accomplish the manifested experience of an extra $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 in your bank right now. You see what we're getting at? So as you accept that you can separate reality from feeling, that feeling does not have to be a byproduct of what is. In fact, if the emotion that you feel is always, as it usually is for most humans, a byproduct of what is, then what is doesn't change. Different faces, different places, but the same basic experience over and over again. You see what we're getting at?
So to follow that up a little bit, after I had initially been diagnosed with Crohn's, I came into great health. I was able to really get it back, and I was just joyous and very happy and overwhelmed with life. It was almost a new life. It was a great new life that my eyes had been opened to. But then, I don't know if there must have been something active in my vibration that called forth the next diagnosis,
Well,
which was...
it's not unusual, is it? It's that subject that has what is wanted on one end of the stick and what is not wanted on the other end of the stick. Anytime you've overcome something, what you've overcome is still sort of active in your vibration.
So now that I'm at the precipice of overcoming the second hurdle, I pretty much have. Now, I don't want it to come back.
By not relitigating it and by not speaking as if you've overcome it, by being in the improved now, not having come from the not improved then. That's the piece of it. It's being in the improved now, being in appreciation of the improved now, being in anticipation of an even more improved now, but not relitigating, not remembering, not comparing. Sometimes there is a desire to teach someone else. In other words, when you've just come through something, then sometimes it's active enough in your vibration that others who are experiencing it are rendezvousing with you. And even in the explanation of how it was before it is now can keep that vibration active just a little bit, you see. It is natural. Say that better. It is common. It is unnatural in the scheme of who you are. But it is common for our human friends to want to teach their success to others. And in doing so, they often subdue their success because they're trying so hard to relate to the others that they don't allow themselves to stay in the clear space that they could. And the reason you do that is because you are so determined to serve. And we think it is a wonderful thing to be an uplifter, but you must serve your own alignment first. And as we were talking to our sweet mother just a moment ago, you want to focus on the playtime that is desired, not try to get someone to talk about something that's bothering them.
So my last question is, just recently I had a quick episode. Now, they used to last up to 8 months until I had discovered your iteration of the law of attraction and stopped focusing on the pain. When I stopped focusing, it went away. And over the past week or so, after about a 7-month period, I had a 24-hour period of time where it revealed itself, and then I started to freak out, but I gave in, I remembered, and it's gone.
Sometimes Esther's watching television, and afterwards she'll say to someone, I think I have a little gout, and maybe a little mesothelioma, maybe a little... Those advertisements get to you. You don't have to watch more than about 1,000 of them before you've got it.
So for it to have disappeared so quickly was remarkable, but I guess my question is that pain a reflection of my state of alignment?
Yes,
okay.
Yes it is. If you are ever in physical discomfort, here's the most productive way of looking at it. So you say to yourself, or you acknowledge that, when you ask, it is always given. Do you acknowledge that?
Yes.
We've been talking about that for a long time. You have trillions of cells in your physical apparatus, and they are all consciousness, and they are all continuously asking for what they need from each other and from without. They are asking for energy. They are asking for replenishment. They are asking for water a lot. They are asking for water a lot. That's why you translate it into thirst or hunger. That's part of that translation process. And so the cells of your body are asking and asking and asking. And when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, as they ask and you're not in the way because you're feeling good and all your circuits are wide open, then they ask and receive and they ask and receive and they ask and receive. We like to call this receiving mode the replenishing mode. You ask and it is replenished, and you ask and it is replenished, and you ask and it is replenished. But if you're not in that receiving mode, if you are in some sort of despair or some sort of worry or some sort of fear or some sort of danger, and your cells are asking, then they're asking, but your circuits aren't open. And when your circuits aren't open to what your cells are asking for, the physical sensation is discomfort. That's what it means. You're not letting the energy flow. Don't you love knowing that? So then what do you do about it? Don't panic. Just say, oh, this discomfort means that help's on the way. This discomfort means that my cells are asking and the source is answering. Because if your cells were asking and source wasn't answering, wouldn't matter how disconnected you are or how closed off your circuits are, you would not feel discomfort. But the fact that you feel discomfort means two important things. Your cells are asking and source is answering, and if you'll chill out, all is well.